Get ready.
This is the voice of Wayne America.
Lighten up, Francis.
With your host,
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Mike Carnes.
How do you measure yourself with other golfers?
By height.
Only at WayneAmerica.com.
The supernova's gonna kill us all.
Okay, this guy is the real zero, that's true. Let's just think back when you guys were freshmen, huh?
.com.
Greetings and welcome to the Voice of Wayne America podcast, an exclusive here on MyWayneNews.com. I'm Mike Carnes, coming to you from the Wayne America studios, which the way we set it up, it could be anywhere in Wayne, Nebraska, as far as you know. So, but we're going to be sitting here in Godfather's Pizza here in downtown Wayne today because we're talking with Wayne Mayor Cale Giese and talk about the highlights from the City Council meeting on Tuesday night. And Mr. Mayor, welcome to the show.
Hey, glad to be here.
Yeah, and meeting last night. I think everybody wanted to get the meeting done before the State of the Union address last night, which I've seen some jokes on Facebook on it today, and it was actually more entertaining than the Super Bowl. Which
that's not saying much, though.
It really wasn't. Like, as bad as the Super Bowl was.
A snoozer.
It was a dull game. But the City Council meeting last night, one of the first items on the agenda was a discussion of the city's budget audit from this past year, and some good news in that information. I think one of the highlights was that the city actually underspent its budget from last year by almost $2 million, and the thing that I found interesting was the per person rate of the budget in Wayne. Statewide, the per person average in towns of Wayne size is about $210 per person. Here in Wayne, it's $156 per person. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would love to take credit for the $2 million number. That's actually just a change in accounting since we've moved from Nancy Brader now to Beth. The way that we are budgeting is a little bit different. We used to budget every single dollar in the entire revenue. So if we spent everything, we'd have no money in reserves, no nothing. So we've changed that, and so now we budget more for what we plan on spending. So just a change in budget philosophy with the finance director. But I will take credit for, not personally, but for the city side, for that property tax number. You know, we're paying 3/4 of what is expected of a city our size and population to be paying on property taxes.
And that's a really nice number to hear, because I know property tax is a major issue, especially here in this state where the Nebraska legislature is trying to figure out a property tax formula that helps everybody can agree upon, and which of course isn't, I think, impossible to do.
Well, keep them away from us, because they find out we're not paying as much as other cities are. Maybe they'll come with their hand out, but no.
Or maybe they'll come and ask you what you guys are doing right.
Yeah, well, it's good, and it just reflects. We've had a lot of years of good leadership on the city council. Yeah,
and another thing, and talking about the leadership in the city, another item that I thought was kind of interesting was on statewide average, the per person cost for administration within a city government is $85, and in Wayne it's $42.
Yeah, and this has to do with how Administrator Johnson had it set up. Lowell had it set up so a lot of other cities will have, your street superintendent will be just an administration job. With us, they're actually out there working too. All of our administrators are also staff that are out, boots on the ground type of thing. So that really changes the dynamic of where your tax dollars are going.
Yeah,
and more effective, I think.
Yeah.
You got less bureaucrats sitting behind a desk wasting time, and they're actually out there, boots on the ground, knowing what they're going to do.
And I think when you look at the leadership of the administration within the city, these are guys that have been here a long time. Marlon Chin's been part of the police force for 20-some years, I think, and I know Joel Hansen's been around for a long time, and so there's a lot of longevity within the administration here in the city too.
I've even heard that Gene Hansen was here when they started the city. He was already working.
He was already working.
When the first train car came through, he was already here.
He was here making sure.
He was at the power plant. Yeah.
That's why he has been here a long time. Hasn't he?
Has. Yeah.
Some of the other stuff going on this city council meeting Tuesday night, the LB 840 update was made with Luke Virgil with the Wayne Area Economic Development, and seemed like the numbers in that information were pretty good too.
Yeah, so this was the surprising part to me, and I'll choose my words carefully and say surprising, because this is for the people that are buying fire tech. They're keeping fire tech in town, which is great. We gave them money from the CDBG block grant, $250,000, and kind of the golden rule is $25,000 a job is what you're looking at in incentives. So the first proposal that came with the CDBG grant was to maintain the 10 jobs they currently have on staff. Great, we love keeping business here. 10-year turnaround on these grant funds that we need to get out anyways. They've just been sitting there. LB 840 is a little bit different beast in my mind. And this is where, if I'd have been on the council, I'd have voted no on this last night. And I don't know if you could tell, I was getting a little heated with the council members because they weren't engaging in a debate. They just wanted to go along with the proposal. My contentions with this were they're receiving LB 840 money as a business that's located outside of town. So LB 840 is collecting this sales tax from businesses that are in town. And then what does the council do? We turn around and we give that money that we collected from their business and we gave it to a business located outside of city limits. And I wanted a condition of them accepting the funds to request to be annexed. So at the very least, that they're contributing to the same pot from which they're drawing from. So that surprised me. We're going with surprised. And then we did end up putting some teeth into their proposal for the LB 840 was they're going to create 10 new jobs. And those 10 jobs are going to happen relatively quickly. 3 jobs the first year, 3 jobs each year after that, and then 1 expected extra in the next 10, I think was how it worded. And something that I've been critical of when I was on council was we need to put some teeth when we're giving these dollars out. We need to make sure that the taxpayers are seeing a benefit. Because right now, the way the proposal was originally written was they could take that $250,000 and not hire a single person and pay the money back over the 10 years. And what did the city get for it to show? To keep the business. We could have used that $250,000 to create more jobs throughout that next 10 years though. Because this completely depleted our LB 840 funds. The fund had $251,000 in it. This was $250,000. So you have $1,000.
You have $1 left.
$1,000 left in it. So we did put on a stipulation they have to hire 5 people within the next 10 years. So we did put a little bit of teeth in it. I'd just like to see us be a little bit more aggressive since this is technically the second round of LB 840. We were allowed to loan out X amount of dollars. We did that. And now we're loaning out the money that is paid back to us from the initial loans. So this is the first loan we've given on money that was repaid from the original loans, which is supposed to be a stricter protocol. And I wanted to really set the stage last night and say, you better be serious when you come to us for this second round, because we're cherishing this money more than the first time, which, I always say government money is like a tube of toothpaste, where you start out and you're layering the toothpaste on, and then when you get down to the bottom of the toothpaste roll, you're really conserving that,
Yeah.
The last fourth of the toothpaste lasts as long as the other 75% did. And that's the same with government funds, where you really squeeze out all that money at the beginning, and then you get careful. But last night we were treating the bottom of the toothpaste tube like it was a fresh tube of toothpaste, in my opinion.
So this money that FireTech is going to be using, then they're going to be adding on to their business then, and I think they said they've got some production issues where they're
So this is the exciting
catch up to
part.
production.
If they do what they say they're going to do, money well spent, right? They're going to add 3 full-time jobs, and these jobs are higher paying jobs too, good jobs for the city. So if they do what they say they're going to do, awesome, super excited. But I just wish we would have had a little bit of teeth in there, ensuring that that they are going to stick to that plan.
Now, they did seem I guess open to the possibility of annexing that business in the city. Is that something that the city can come back and talk with them on?
Yeah, and I expect that we will.
Okay. Now, of that part of the industrial area, what out there is not annexed in the city? Is that,
Okay, this is so weird. So if you were to look at a map of it, and somebody, really, if somebody were to challenge the city and say, why does the map look as screwy as it does? You know, why is it gerrymandered so crazily? We'd have to go back and probably annex a bunch of people. But Heritage Homes is not annexed, but Great Dane is not annexed. But Great Dane's trailers, where they park their trailers, that's annexed. Williams Farm is annexed. The airport is annexed, but nothing else really in the industrial park besides one line of businesses to reach out to the airport is annexed. So the thought process is when you annex, it's supposed to be if you're
it's supposed to be contiguous, right?
Contiguous growth, everything gets annexed. So we've got one council member now who's really pushing to get some of those businesses that are currently outside the city limits, that are contiguous, put back in. And that's going to be an interesting discussion because it's a matter of fairness, one, but on the opposite side, it's a little bit of a nod of, we'll give you a little bit of a tax break to some of our biggest employers in town, but you're also receiving all these city services and then you're not paying. That's not really fair to the other citizens in town either.
And that's kind of a delicate balance that you have to try
if you really want to look at it as a screwy situation, they're paying double water and sewer rates, so them being outside city limits is artificially keeping the residents of Wayne sewer and water down, but it's keeping their property taxes higher. So if we were to annex them, property taxes would probably go down just a little bit, but our water and sewer rates would probably go up to make up for it.
So it's kind of a
it's
six
just
of one and a half a dozen the other.
It's a scale that probably works for some businesses and doesn't work for others. If you have a huge business but you're not using a lot of city utilities, you're probably coming out ahead. If you're the other way, you're probably losing. You're on the losing end of the deal.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those weird things that's going on in the city. But as I said, we got one council member now who's really pushing for it. So we will have that discussion sometime in the next couple of years.
So be kind of interesting to see where that goes here in the months ahead.
It will be.
So, talking with Cale Giese, Mayor of Wayne, here on the Voice of Wayne America podcast, and wanted to take a moment to talk about Providence Medical Center in Wayne. They're proud to announce the addition of a new surgical procedure that they now offer at the hospital, shoulder arthroscopy. This surgical procedure is for those who have rotator cuff injuries. The surgeon inserts a tiny camera and the necessary instruments through small incisions in the shoulder rather than doing an open procedure with a large incision. Dr. Joseph Caro specializes in orthopedic surgery for Providence Medical Center. He's the team physician for Wayne State Athletics and also offers his expertise at multiple high schools in the area. For more information, check out Providence Medical Center's website at www.providencemedical.com. That's Providence Medical Center. Extraordinary care rooted in compassion. Talking here on the Voice of Wayne America podcast with the Mayor of Wayne, Cale Giese, and talking about last night's City Council meeting. And another item that was on the agenda last night that was of interest, I thought, was the 1 in 6 year street improvement program. It's kind of a yearly thing. It's not anything unusual that a city has to deal with. It's kind of part of what they do. But I know that a number of projects on the agenda for the 1 in 6 year plan. I think there were 17 overall. And I know the big one that's going to be coming up is the Nebraska Street Project.
Yes.
A lot of work's going to go into that. That's I think going from 2nd Street to 7th Street. So it should be that's going to be a project that's going to take up a lot of your guys' efforts this year.
Yeah, that'll be the big summer project that we get done. 2nd Street to 7th Street, like you said, Nebraska Street. It's not that the road itself is in such bad shape. It's all the infrastructure that goes along with the road. Right now, when there's a big rain, we're overflowing. We're going into people's yards and backyards. So a lot of that infrastructure just needs to be upsized. And if you're going to be tearing up the road to do it, you might as well just put the new road in and get it done with. But yeah, the only real change to what we've seen on the 1 in 6 year. We brought alleys up on this year too. That's another thing where if you're going to be back in there tearing stuff up, do you bury electrical lines? Do you kind of get everything done at one time? Otherwise, you redo them, and then you're back in there in a few years.
Doing it again.
Yep.
Yeah.
But those alleyways, I mean, that's where the easements for all the old Main Street buildings and everything goes. So you never know. We could do it, and we think we have everything done, and then the gas company comes through and says, "Oh, we need to go here and check something," or the cable people need to go, "Oh, we need to tear this up and put something in." So that's an addition that you saw on there. And then I had them add West 12th Street on. That is what would connect the highway or Main Street to Sherman Street. If you've driven that, it is patches on patches, and we need to be planning ahead to replace some of those intersections, especially.
Yeah. Also, I see the trail and pedestrian underpass on West 7th Street, and I know that's something that's been discussed a long time, too.
Yeah. Do you want me to depress you? Because everybody's always, when's the trail going to be done, when the trail's going to be... So we've been on the bid letting website for the state to get this project done. And we were really hopeful that it was going to at least get bids out this year. We were on the bid letting for April, and Joel got a call yesterday that said, yeah, you guys are probably going to be bumped from April until July. So I don't know what is the deal here. Each time I've seen the governor, the last 2 times, I've been in his ear about, this is what is it now? 17-year-old project?
Yeah.
They're holding our money hostage at the state level. We have money dedicated to these funds that we can't use until it's over with. And if we say that we don't want to do it, we surrender those funds. So we have a bunch of money here, taxpayer money, that's just sitting and has been sitting for years and years. And it's just not fair. We need to do something to get this going.
And what does it take at this point?
I don't know. I was jokingly saying at the retreat that we're all going to band up and drive and talk to the governor at once, but
maybe that's what you need to do.
Maybe that's what we need to do.
Or maybe we need to invite him here under false pretenses or something like that. Yeah.
You're not leaving this room until we get our trail approved.
You came here thinking it was going to be a Chicago Cubs party. Well, we got news for you. So, and then also, the Nebraska Street project is going to be going to bid, I think, in March. Is that what we're looking at?
Yep. So we will be. Things should be moving pretty quickly on that project.
Yeah. Now, how long will it take for them to get the project done once they get going?
I wish I could tell you. I do not know.
A lot of it depends on the weather, obviously, but
yeah.
But hopefully they would be able to get that done, before the end of the year.
You'd think it'd be a one year deal.
Yeah. So. All right, another item on the agenda from Tuesday was, which I was a little intrigued by this, was the proposal to purchase diesel fuel from Nebraska Public Power District. I guess the city has 105,000 gallons of diesel fuel that is owned by Nebraska Public Power, and the city agreed to, or the council agreed to pay $1.70 per gallon for the NPPD fuel to take possession of that, which was a cost of a little over $180,000. The one thing that really bothered me as a resident was the suggestion by the NPPD that if you guys don't want the fuel, to burn it.
Yeah, so this is just a straight negotiating tactic, and Wes did a really good job on this, and he kind of downplays it like, well, we could have done better, but. So this whole situation arose from us leaving NPPD. NPPD owned the fuel that we have on hand for running our generators here in town. Now, once we left the contract, NPPD has no further use for keeping all that diesel fuel. Mm-hmm. So the options provided that we thought were on the table when negotiations started, where we thought we had a really strong hand, where they either have to come truck it out of there, which is going to be really expensive, or we buy it from them. So we thought those were the 2 options. Mm-hmm. So while we're in the middle of negotiations, they say, we're playing our hands stronger and stronger, trying to pay less and less for this diesel fuel, and they say, well, we could just make you burn it in the generators, and then we'll sell the energy that you make, which would have added a lot of hours to our generators, which are already older, and we just do not want to do that. The wear and tear on those suckers for running for, I don't know, that would have been 2 or 3 weeks straight. That would have been real big loss for the city.
Yeah.
So we didn't have as strong a hand as we thought, but paying $1, what was it, $1.70?
$1.70, yeah.
That's a pretty fair market price.
Well, I think diesel fuel is on it's well over $2.50 a gallon. So
well, it was when we started the negotiation.
Yeah.
So Wes did a good job.
yeah, the thing that bothers me about that, just the ecological aspect of that. So you're gonna make us burn. I guess I didn't understand at the time when I hear burning fuel, you're just gonna light it on fire and let it burn into the atmosphere. I'm like, God, how cold and classless can an organization like NPPD be, to demand that the city pollute the atmosphere like that? So I guess I didn't understand it was
Still kind of a heartless response. When this would have taken place was over Christmas and New Year's, so they would have been making our staff
work during those holidays.
Work during the holidays.
Yeah.
That's basically what they were playing their trump card as.
Yeah.
And so once they laid that, we're like, okay, I think at the time it was like 25 or 30 cents better than what we'd expected to pay and budgeted to pay. And we're like, that's good, That's a win-win.
So ultimately it is a win-win. At least you got 105,000 gallons of diesel fuel now that you don't have to
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where
buy it again.
what's the right amount to keep on hand,
Yeah.
You hope you never use it. But yet, if we do have another tornado or some type of a bigger blackout region-wise, you need to have enough on hand to keep everybody's lights on and keep everybody warm.
Yes. Some of the other highlights from the city council meeting last week, a couple payments made on the Wayne Golf and Country Club clubhouse improvement project. I have not had a chance to go out there. I'm going to be going out there here sometime soon to do a podcast out there. But from what I've heard about the renovation out there, it's pretty top shelf look out there now.
Yeah, Rusty Parker's been giving me some updates periodically, and this last time he came in, you could just see it in his eyes that he was both relieved that the project was coming to an end and really excited because a lot of the interior work is being completed now. Troy's got kind of his pro shop set up. I guess it looks fantastic. I did talk to Troy over text message. He said March 1st they should be ready to rock and roll on reservations and stuff like that. So we are almost there.
Well, it's going to be great. It'll be another place for people to come to Wayne to have parties or wedding receptions, things like that. It'll be another opportunity there.
Yeah, and I think the wedding aspect of it will be a hit. You got those windows right there. I think it'll be a beautiful spot for a wedding reception or any type of party, I suppose.
Yeah,
we've got some great venues now.
It'll be kind of interesting. You'll have that and the Beaumont right next door there, just north of the golf course. So it'll be a couple of really nice venues. Now I think what we need now is we need to get more hotels here in town because
it's funny you say that because that's what Luke Virgil at Economic Development, he's really been pushing is we need both the cobblestone to add on and we need another hotel on the north side of town.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's something that needs to happen sooner rather than later. I think we're seeing some more opportunities for Wayne to be showcased in with receptions and concerts like they're having at the Beaumont, and I think we also need to have something with the rugby tournament moving to Sioux City this year. I think that's kind of a situation where we're going to need to kind of look at that to make sure that gets back here next year.
Yeah, we got to do something because that's a special event for Wayne, and I think living in Wayne, you can be blind a little bit to how much of a destination spot we are for some of our smaller towns around where they don't have the facilities for the weddings, the special events, and things like that we can offer, and then we have a little bit of shopping and stuff in town too, so you can make a 2-day out of it. It's not like you just drive here, do the event, and go home. I think there's real interest in staying the night, going, checking out the Beaumont, checking out the Rustic Treasure 1912, little Highway South or Highway 15 salvage, those boutique shops and guys hitting up the brewery or whatever and making a couple day event out of it.
You bet. Now, no, one item on the meeting that last night that was tabled was the agreement regarding sludge disposal at the old.
Yeah. So I asked for this to be tabled. We've got a outfit that's interested in selling the sludge. They'd haul it away and sell the product, and it's very good price wise for what I was expecting to pay to get the sludge removed. But I asked for it to be tabled because I wanted a divorce written into the agreement, so that way, if it's not going as planned and these people are having trouble selling the sludge, that we can turn around and pivot to somebody else to work on cleaning it up, because enough is enough. Let's get this sucker cleaned up and repurposed. If we need if we need to spend a little bit of money to do it, so be it. Let's get it back on the tax roll or repurposed and benefiting the citizens of Wayne.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that will allow us to enter into this agreement, and let's get this thing cleaned up in 2 years. I mean, that's the goal right now, is let's completely clean and repurposed in 2 years.
Yeah. And we're just looking across the street here as we're doing this interview. See, Riley's building is pretty much no more. It's pretty much all down now.
Yeah, we're down to nitty gritty on the ground picking up. So
Yeah.
I'll
So
be excited. That should be greens. It'll be green space originally, and then the council will really have some discussions this spring about what we want to see go in there.
yeah. Has there been any discussion with anybody about a possible use for it?
Yeah, well, I will be the first to admit I voted against buying Riley's and tearing it down, but boy, does it look a lot better now that it's not there. I will admit that it is nice. The government's role in this is interesting, but boy, it seems like a bargain getting that sucker down right now. To repurpose it, I don't know. I'm a big proponent of getting more residential and more business opportunities in the downtown area. We've got a chance here that we can really transform the feel of our downtown. This could provide another little corridor of business. Maybe we see some businesses on the main level, some higher level apartments up above, maybe not necessarily directed at college students, but maybe at those younger professionals. Place to live. I think if you live downtown, you're more likely to spend money downtown. If you have more foot traffic, that makes a business possibility more enticing, and if we can keep that sales tax revenue up, then we can relieve some of the property tax burden on individuals too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that place. I know I'm working on a story right now on the history of the building, and I know there's a lot of people who have went to school at Wayne State or longtime residents of the community have a lot of memories of what that building was.
It was a showpiece. I mean, in college, it was transitioning to a dump while I was there, but it was still the hot spot to go. Mm-hmm. As a kid, I remember, best prime rib was Riley's on a Friday night. Family pack up the family and go eat prime rib. That was a big deal. Yeah. And my memory, I actually went there one night after when John Murtaugh was the wrestling coach at Wayne High School. He had invited me to a end of season banquet for the wrestlers, and the Murtaughs and I and I think Aaron Shute and his wife at the time, we all went over there afterward and had a drink, and that was the first time I'd ever been in the place, and I thought, boy, this is a really classy little place for a town this size. And then come back years later, and really the only time I went over there was for the toga dance during rugby weekend, and hang out with Darren Barner and just watch the young people enjoy the party, and it was a crazy atmosphere in there, but always a lot of fun, and there's a lot of great memories that I think a lot of people have of that place, and not having that there now is definitely going to take some getting used to, but it'll be interesting to see what comes of that eventually. Yeah. You got one council member in particular who really wants to put a new city hall there. I'm not too wild about the idea. I think we keep it business. We keep it business. Maybe throw some residential in, but certainly all options are on the table this time.
Sure. So next city council meeting will be 2 weeks from now, February 19th, beginning at 5:30 at the city council chambers in downtown on the corner of 3rd and Pearl Streets. So I know the mayor and I will get together here 2 weeks from now. We'll probably talk about what happened there. So
That's right.
So thanks a lot for talking this week.
Absolutely.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's podcast here on the Voice of Wayne America, and we will be back with another edition next week, or in very near future anyway. So check back here at thewayneamerica.com as we continue to talk about the greatest town in all of America, and that's right here in Wayne America. Have yourselves a good week, and we will see you later.